Hello, my wonderful mathematicians and my fellow teachers. Thank you so much for all that you guys do. I really do appreciate it. Today, I really wanted to cover the division. This is something that they just need more practice on, and it's not something that they're allowing me to really practice inside the classroom. So tutorials today would be perfect for this. So before we get started with the actual games, I wanted to break down the techniques that I'm showing them on how to do it, and there's three. The first one is the array method technique. The second one is, and then it carries over into the T-chart method, and then that carries over into the standard algorithm method. So the first one that we're going to do is the array method. Now, whenever this is something that you guys are actually going to be doing today with the playing cards. I'm going to create my division problem. And the way that I'm going to create my division problem is by pulling my cards. So my first number of my dividend is going to be 3. The next number of my dividend is going to be 4. The next number of my dividend is going to be 5, and I just want to leave it as a 3-digit dividend. Now I need to find my divisor. My divisor is going to be 6. So remember, this number here is our divisor. That is what we are dividing by. This number here is our dividend. This is the number that we are dividing into. And then this number here is our quotient. That is the answer to a division problem. That is what we are looking for. Now, with the array model method, it is a little time consuming, but these are great for visual learners. I tell my students that whenever we are looking at the division problem, especially when it's 3-digit, 4-digit, 5-digit, you always want to look at the first number. I cannot divide 6 into 3 because 6 is larger than 3. It's always going to be 0. It has to be, it just has to be 0. So I move over to the next number. I'm looking at 34. So to make it a little bit simpler, we actually create another problem. Set it up again, where that's all they're focusing on is how many times can 6 go into 34. So I tell my kiddos, you're looking at your divisor is telling you how many rows you need. How many rows you need. And I need 6 rows. So I just number 1 through 6. And now I can start doing my x's. I need 34 x's. So I take the first row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I always put the sum at the end of the row just in case I walk away. I come back and I know exactly where I left off. Second row, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's another reason why I put the sum at the end too. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and I'll tell you that reason in a little bit. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Oops, I'm sorry. 31, 32, 33, 34. Went too far. 34. Now I can find my quotient. In order for me to find my quotient, I need to know how many full rows do I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 full rows of x's. So my quotient is going to be 5, but I still have a remainder of 4 x's. So my quotient is 5 with a remainder of 4. I'm taking my quotient 5 and I am putting it above the 4 because that's the position that I'm in. I take the remainder and I'm now going to create a new division problem. My divisor is still 6, but now my new division problem is my remainder of 4 and then my last number of my original problem, 5. Now sometimes my kiddos, they know that they stopped off at 34, they will just continue with the x's, but I'm going to create another array model. So now we just need to fill in our X's because we know we need 6 rows. I created my 6 rows, so now I need to fill in my X's. First row, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45. Move it up so you can see. So now I have my 45 X's. So this time I need to figure out again how many full rows do I actually have. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 full rows. So I know my quotient is going to be 7. And I do have a remainder of 3 X's. So a remainder of 3. Like I said, this is great for the kiddos who are visual learners because they can actually really see this and they are getting this down. So I have 7 as my quotient, bringing my 7 up. I don't have another number in my dividend, so I just write my remainder. So 345 can go into 6 57 times with a remainder of 3. Now, the T-chart is going to be faster. And this is the reason why it's best to have the sum when we're doing the array model, to see that sum at the end, because in truth, they're already creating their T-chart. I'm going to use the same division problem, 6. So 345 divided by 6. And again, remember that 6 is our divisor. 345 is our dividend. And our quotient is the answer to our division problem. That is what we were looking for. So when we are doing our T-chart, we're looking at our divisor. And we know our divisor is 6. So I need to create a T-chart for 6. This is why it's called a T-chart, because I actually have a T. On this side, I'm just doing 1 times 6, 2 times 6, 3 times 6, 4 times 6, 5 times 6, 6 times 6, 7 times 6, 6, come on, Miss Bradley, 8 times 6. I'm going to stop it right there, 8 times 6. Now I just need to find my product. 6 times 1, or 1 times 6, we know is 6. 2 times 6, we know is 12. There's our sum, 6, 12. So we know the next one is going to be 18. 24, 5 times 6, our product is 30. 6 times 6 is 36. 7 times 6 is 42. And 8 times 6 is 48. So you pretty much did all the work right there in your T-chart. So again, we're going to break it down, separate our problem, because a lot of them, they just see so many numbers and they just want to shut down. So to make it easy, we're going to separate it. Our first division problem is how many times can 6 go into 34? So I'm looking at my T-chart and I have to find a number that is close to 34 without going over. I cannot use 36. I went over. So I used the number before, which is 30. So that is going to be my quotient, 5. We know that 6 times 5, we have the product here, is 30. Now we just need to subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. So our remainder is 4. We take our remainder and we go ahead and create our next division problem. Our divisor stays the same. Our next dividend is going to be our remainder 4. And our last number in our original division problem, 5. So now we go back to our T-chart and we're looking for a number that is close to or 45 without going over. I cannot use 48. I went over, so I used the number prior to that, which is 42. So our next quotient is going to be 7. We know that 6 times 7, and let me skip the step. We need to make sure that we have our quotient in our original problem. Got to make sure I put it up there too. So we know that 6 times 7, our quotient is, our product is 42, because we know a product is the answer to a multiplication problem. And now we just need to subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3. So our quotient is 7 with the remainder of 3. So we need to go ahead and put that up there. 7 with the remainder of 3. You notice this problem? Same way. Our quotient is the same. And then our last method is the standard algorithm method. You're just going to set up your problem. 6. And the dividend is 345. Remember that 6 is your divisor. 345 is our dividend. That's what we're dividing into. The divisor is what we're dividing by. And we are looking for our quotient, the answer to our division problem. So again, we're going to create our T-chart. And we know that this is going to be 1 times 6, 2 times 6, 3 times 6, 4 times 6, 5 times 6, 6 times 6, 7 times 6, and we're going to stop at 8 times 6. And then we just fill in our product. 1 times 6 is 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, and 48. Now, the standard algorithm way, basically what we are doing is the same thing as the T-chart method, but we're not dividing up the problem. We're not going to separate the problem. We're going to do everything in the original problem. So I know, covering the 5, I need to find out how many times can 6 go into 34. I'm looking for a number that is close to 34 without going over. I can't use 36. I went over. Got to use the 30. So my quotient is 5. And I know that 6 times 5 is 30. And I need to subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. And I'm bringing down my 5. Then I move on to the next number. My next dividend is 45. Looking for a number that is close to 45 without going over. It's 42 because 48 I went over. So my quotient is 7. We know that 6 times 7 is 42. Now I need to subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3. So my remainder is 3. So again, this is where we would like them to be, but I don't have a lot of students there yet. I still have a lot of students here at the array model, and that's perfect. That's fine. Just as long as they're able to solve the division problem. That's great. If they can take that time, not a problem. T-chart method. Great. That's what I'm moving them to, because this is a little time consuming, and if they can get there when they get their math facts, T-chart would be awesome. Now the next thing that I want you guys to do is your brain dump. I want you to give them 10 minutes to create a brain dump. And the reason why I do the brain dump is they're doing all the work up front. So when they're taking a test, especially when it's dealing with math and they're on question number 45 and they're doing something like what is 3 times 6, that's where I get our crazy mistakes. Oh, 3 times 6 is 12, because they're tired by then. So the brain dump is when they create a multiplication chart at the beginning, before they even get started on their test. They create a multiplication chart as their brain dump. Now what I've been doing is whenever we do the brain dump, we slowly start bringing the time down. Right now we are at 10 minutes. I give them 10 minutes to see how fast they can create their multiplication chart within 10 minutes. So that's what I want them to do, is create their multiplication chart within that 10-minute time period. So after they finish their brain dump, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to get into groups, and I'm going to let you guys decide whether or not it's going to be 2 people, 3, or 4 in a group. You can do it 4 in a group. Each group will have a set of playing cards. You're going to shuffle all the cards, and every card will have just 1 through 9. I need to take the 10s out of here. 1 through 9. The aces are 1s. So you're going to create your division problem. You're going to shuffle it up, and each person will grab a card. Again, I need to take the 10s out. Each person will grab a card until they all have 4 cards. The first 3 numbers that they draw will be their dividend. So I have 321 as my dividend, and I'm going to divide by 5. And then they're going to hurry up and divide, and whoever has the largest quotient. Notice how here my quotient is 57. Let's say Johnny has 57, Bobby has 33, Susie has 66, and Tiffany has 25. 66 is the largest, so Susie over here will get all the cards. She will get all the cards. And then they continue until all the cards in the deck have been passed out. You will have calculators to check over the answer. You only use the calculators to check to make sure. Because if Susie said, hey, my quotient is 66 and it's not 66, Susie, you just lost. You just lost the term. So that's the first game. The second game, there's another video that you guys have a link to, and it's Divide and Conquer. So go ahead and get started, and I hope that this helps, and I will see you guys soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.